Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Pater with you today. Going to come out of the gate with this video. I've really been thinking about this topic because I have been asked by multiple women to make this video. And, there's really no soft way on this topic. So, I've made some notes this morning, and I've been thinking about how I want to say all of these things. And you know what? The best thing for me and for you is for me just to be absolutely candid. I don't sugarcoat very well, and you've probably figured that out. And this is a tough subject, so you have to be tough with the truth. I have been asked by several women, point blank, how in the world I'm doing all that I'm doing and how am I coping and how are we getting through this, particularly because they are also experiencing the same thing. They are absolutely farming, homeschooling, homesteading, and suddenly they're having, particularly one woman, her husband is down, okay? She's doing everything, and she has some small children, and she says point blank, I just feel like I'm drowning. Well, that's a very realistic description of how you can feel with certain things like this. I will tell you that I'm not going to speak so much about the emotional side of this. You know, when somebody has somebody close in their life, be it a child or their husband or maybe even your mom, maybe you're becoming a caretaker, right? That's what you are now. Not only are you all of these other things, you're the teacher, the cook, the cleaner, the farmer, the milker, now you're a caretaker. And that takes a big chunk of time, right? How are you dealing? How are you coping? What are you doing? How are you surviving it? Well, I think first and foremost, you need to understand that everybody's different in their approach of how they deal with circumstances. And circumstances are going to vary, okay? I can only speak from my angle. But if, one of these things I tell you makes you think or helps you to, with something coming your way or to deal with something that you're already dealing with, then that's the angle, that's the goal here. It's the goal, okay? I'm going to be very blunt, okay? I'm going to be blunt. In fact, I'm going to be so blunt, I'm going to have another sip of coffee to help me with my bluntness. Because the reality is there's no soft way to put any of this. So if this is not your type of deal, if this is not what you want to hear, whatever, I am not offended that I've got some great videos on how to make wonderful brown sugar biscuits. You should really make those biscuits. It's therapy, really. We were not, I don't want to say we weren't prepared, because we were prepared. This was totally unexpected, okay? And the beauty of what I'm about to tell you is everything that we do is to prepare for the unexpected. We did not move here and take on this lifestyle because we think chickens are cute, okay? They are, and I love them, you know that, but that's not what we do, okay? We want to get back to our roots. We see a lot of societal changes. We want to prepare our children for the future and to be able to deal with things unlike other people. We wanted a more simple life, and we wanted to clinch on to what we feel is the heart of Appalachia, which is definitely the heart of our roots. I've got a whole line of genealogy to prove that. Unbelievable. Of rugged individualism, folks. And, it's not by design that mountain people and the folks from the greatest generation and things that you think of in the past, those folks weren't tough just because it was cool, okay? They were tough, and they dealt with life and circumstances because they really didn't have another way. They didn't have a choice. That's how you survive. There's a lot of admiration for that here, and there's a lot of studying of that here. And when you start homesteading and you start homeschooling and you start doing your research and you start depending on your true self-reliance to try to teach you and guide you and lean you through move you through hard times, you become a different person, okay? So what I want to do, in order to streamline this video, I have done what I do every day, which is I'm a Post-it note girl. I love them. All shapes, sizes, and colors. So, if you came in my kitchen, you've probably seen that before. I love Post-it notes. I try to keep myself a little bit in the organized chaos category. So, I made some notes today. So my husband is ill, and people want to know how I'm doing. How are you doing all of this? Homesteading, milking a cow, running a business, homeschooling 3 boys, keeping your sanity, keeping healthy. Well, let me tell you, it is getting a little bit better in our situation, which is good. My husband is doing better. But we have something that we're going to be dealing with the rest of our lives. So you have to look at the situation and understand that your life just changed. That's why you prepare. I am so sorry to tell you that you must prepare. If that's not your shtick, if you don't want to hear that from me, you are on the wrong channel. I'm sorry. I'm not offended by that. I'm not upset with that, because I just view you as having a totally different perspective. We're not on the same wavelength. I love you. We can talk about, I don't know, but I am telling you right now, this is absolutely what has pulled my family completely through. Why? When my husband is 2 hours away in a hospital, I'm not having to worry about how I'm going to feed my kids when I'm home. I'm not having to worry about how I'm feeding my animals when I'm home or not home, when somebody was here taking care of my farm. Okay? I don't have to worry too much about this coming winter, because right now it was late summer, early fall. It's when a lot of people are really hitting in on the winter preparedness, for winter. We were already doing that. Now, it's not going to be to the level that we were going for completely. There's been a hold off on our woodshed, but we have a lot of wood. Preparedness is a mentality 24/7, every day, all week, all season long. You're not always perfect at it. You don't always have everything that you need, but the basics are met. Okay? In my mind, I knew that when my husband was coming home, and we had no idea if and when he was going to be able to drive ever again for a while, much less go back to work. We're eating. And because we have taken on a self-reliant preparedness lifestyle, I'm going to pay my bills for quite some time. I'm not buying fancy clothes, and we're not going on a Disney cruise. We're not going out to fancy restaurants or all of these things. But you know what? My children are eating, my home would be heated, and my cow would be fed. Got it? So don't ever dismiss the whole idea of preparedness. You do not have to be hunkered down in a hole somewhere waiting on an EMP to strike to justify being prepared. There's not been a natural disaster here. There's not been a nuclear strike. There's not been an earthquake. I'm not in the midst of a blizzard. My husband is down. The breadwinner of this family is down. That can happen to you any day of the week. Period. What has happened to my husband is not something that he caused for himself. You right now can go to Walmart, go to a UT football game. We're going to win today. We're going to win today. And what if you come down with mycoplasma, which is probably the culprit here? You get sick, and you find out 2 weeks later, even maybe 2 years later, you're in heart failure because of that. That can happen to you. I don't care if you're 17, if you're 5, if you're 32, if you're 50. This happens to everybody, and it happens often to people. And, you're suddenly thrown into serious cardiomyopathy, which is 1 1/3 causes of death. Okay? So I'm going to stick this in your face, and I'm going to tell you, you are not crazy to prepare. if it's just buying some extra beans, if it's every month you're sliding a little, maybe $10 extra in a little squirrel fund in your bedroom. After so many months, that's several $100 put away that you didn't think about, hopefully. That when a crisis comes, you can pull out $1,000 or $500. Guess what? You've got gas money. You can go buy milk. You can, pay that medical bill all those medical bills that are about to come in. You can pay one off real quick. All of these things matter. I cannot stress it enough. End of discussion. Okay? End of discussion. Very passionate about that. I'm living it, people. Conditioned to work, number 2. Now, I'm not here to tell you that people that live a suburban life or an urban life aren't workers. That's not what I'm saying, so don't misconstrue what I'm telling you. But what I am telling you is this. This lifestyle is work 24/7. How are you doing it? How are you doing it? I don't mean to sound callous, but we don't know any other way. Now, granted, we do have basic chores and basic things we do every day, and then there's heavy hitter days of the mowing or the gardening or the canning or more schoolwork, and we take days to go do something fun. Clearly, we go on a field trip or we visit family or we do the things that we do. Every day is this workload. Milk the cow, muck a stall, feed the chickens, fill up the water. I mean, for us to do our morning chores, honestly, on most days is about an hour and a half of work. We're so conditioned to it, we don't know any other way. Now, because of that, if you have a crisis hit you, other things do go by the wayside. It's just, you have to prioritize. But all of this work that we do, it's just what we do. And when you go from, I'm calling it from city to country, and you're taking on this massive amount of chores and errands and this lifestyle, you get conditioned to it. We're conditioned to work. My kids are conditioned to work every day. I make no apologies to them. I've told them over and over, because they're kids. They're teenage boys for the most part. My youngest one's not quite a teenager, but he's pretty doggone close, which is unbelievable. But my oldest boy, and I tell him over and over, and he doesn't complain anymore because he gets it. He's mature enough now. He gets it. Okay, he sees that when the farm is functioning really well, and mom and dad are doing really well, and the animals are healthy, the benefits of the food, and the sooner you get your chores done and you do them right, the rest of the day, for the most part, is much easier. That's maturity, okay? So you guys and gals out there with younger kids, it's a maturity factor. You can't change it, okay? But I will tell you, it appears we got our kids involved in this lifestyle just in the nick of time. Okay, I'm just saying right now that, they were still young enough to where they could start to do some and move forth, and now they reap the benefits. Listen, my kids have been workhorses during this entire thing, but you know what? My kids are workhorses every day, okay? I give them appropriate chores every day, and I give them chores according to their age and maturity, and then they graduate, okay? My oldest boy can run this entire farm by himself without blinking. My middle boy, who's just become a teenager, he is pushing into that level. He does a lot of things like feeding the ducks and cleaning the duck house, and he takes care of the quail and feeds the dogs, takes care of the baby chicks, and he's kind of a runner for the older boy while the older boy is doing these things. My youngest child, he does, he's more of in the domestic side still. Unload the dishwasher, fold towels, take the trash out, run the, sweep the floor. And, and all of these things don't happen every single day. But I make sure my children, boys, are doing these things pretty much every day. And I tell them, because I have full confidence, if there's a day they're like, I don't want to, whatever. One day you're going to thank me for this. And one day, especially when you're about 30 and you finally have a child of your own in your own home, You're going to be thankful because you have been made to take on and accomplish things and be able to handle things unlike others. That has been huge in this family. I'm not saying your kids shouldn't have fun and have friends and go and do and be kids and play sports and play piano and do all that stuff like my kids do, Krav Maga and all this stuff. But I am saying they have, because they don't know anything different, and because I have specifically designed this home and our homestead to involve them every day, just as I've told you in other videos, when Dad was down and Mom's taking care of Dad and Mom's doing things she's typically never done before or has to do, which is very, being a caretaker, my kids stepped up to the plate. It was automatic. Know when to stop. I'm going to tell you right now, know when to stop. This is going to be short and sweet. When your knees are aching, when you feel a little run down, get the minimum done and stop. There's been a couple of days where I got really stressed out. It was more on the emotional side of things. But I got done, I got dinner in the crock pot. I took care of my husband. I had to run an errand. We got some schoolwork going. She did a barn check, and I said, kids, I'm going to go lay down for about an hour and 15 minutes with Dad. I'm just going to stop. You have to know when to stop. It may not be every day. You have to learn to pace yourself. If I don't pace myself, my immune system crashes. It does. That's human. Know when to stop. And it is okay if that extra load of laundry sits there another day. It's not going anywhere, right? Homestead life is not urban life. Let me repeat that. Homestead life is not urban life. When I lived, when you live in the city and it's just a different take on things, folks, you need to streamline the simplicity of your home. You don't have to have 45,000 tchotchkes out because you know what? That's 45,000 tchotchkes you got to dust. I don't have that time and neither do you. Period. Put them away. Go to Home Depot and get you some tubs and some bubble wrap and put some stuff away right now. Make your countertops streamline. Go through your closet, and if you haven't worn something in the last 6 months, get rid of it. If you didn't wear it last season, you ain't wearing it this season. Vice versa. If you didn't wear it last winter, you're probably not going to wear it this winter unless it's something very specific. Streamline your clothing, streamline your dishes, streamline your countertops, streamline your tchotchkes. You don't need 45 million books sitting out. Make it simple, crazy, simple, stupid. If you look at the life of Appalachian women and mountain women, they didn't have all these fine things sitting out. Most of them didn't. They couldn't afford it, number one, and number two, they didn't have time to take care of it. It's not that they didn't like it. It's about what you have time for. Put it away, period, okay? And if you don't get to dusting today, like I haven't dusted in like 3 weeks, so what? My cow is very healthy. My children are caught up on school. I'm feeling pretty good today. My husband's having a good day. The dusting will happen when it happens. I'm not here to impress anybody, and neither should you. Press forward. Last but not least, I'm sorry, I'm coming at you with this. Never, never, never give up. There's a difference between knowing your boundaries, knowing when to stop, knowing what you can handle, and not giving up. I've had some folks say to me, are you going to get rid of your cow? No. Why would I get rid of my cow? No, don't have plans to get rid of my cow. Don't have plans to get rid of anything. If things develop and continue to go down a different path down the road, I'm open to that. I'm not naive. But I don't have to get... What? You sit down, you prioritize, you streamline your home, you shake it off, you get the crock pot out. No, you're not running the roads. You're not going to visit the flea markets and have a weekend in the mountains and going to a UT football game, or you may have to cancel some things. You hunker down on your home. You thank the Lord for all the things that He's shown you in terms of being prepared, because it's preparing you for a life-changing event. That's what preparedness is. That's what homesteaders do. Homesteaders understand that change happens all the time. Death, life and death happen all the time. I've had people ask me, how in the world do you deal with the cycle of life and death and things? What if something dies, or what about when you butcher something? The whole cycle of homesteading is also understanding that these things are a part of life, and that hardship is a part of life, and you're going to be better for it with your preparedness. I hope this video helps you out. I knew it was going to be a long one. How do you talk about this in 5 minutes? I don't know. It's impossible. To be honest with you, if you were sitting here, this would probably be a 2-hour topic. So I hope it helps you out. If you are in a crisis situation where you need help, please reach out to someone and get that. Okay? I'm not minimizing anybody's situation. I understand that job loss, life change, life and death and illness, be it a child or a spouse or a mother or whatever, is a very serious topic. And if it's beyond your control in terms of really honestly being able to deal with these things, please reach out to a friend, a pastor, a counselor, okay? But just know at the end of the day, that digging down deep, at some point, the way you're going to pull through is by your rugged individualism. These are just things that I can tell you firsthand now have made it a whole lot easier. I hope this finds you well. Like and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, and all the other places we hang out. We appreciate you coming along with us on the ride. We appreciate your friendship. And for those of you that have prayed for us and that are along for the ride, we love you. Y'all take care out there.